So Graham, the big one is against Napoli. Another chance for us to get into the Champions League, which would be to win the Europa League. But however, to do that, we've got to get past, possibly, when you look at all the teams left in it, on paper, the best team left in it. They've dropped out of the Champions League. They've got a team full of star players. They play great football. They've been challenging in Serie A, even though they're not going to overtake Juventus, we know that. But it's going to be a very, very tough game. Looking at some of the players they've got. I mean, Mertens up front, real quality player. Koulibaly, the player that, could we have him, please? That would be just perfect what we need. But they've got a very good team. Now, how do we beat Napoli in this game? I think that Arsenal is very important that we get off to, especially when you look at our away form, that we need a lead in this game. And we need to try and keep a clean sheet as well. We saw last year when we played Atletico Madrid, it was a disastrous first game against them, and then we weren't able to go over to Madrid and doing anything. This time, if we can get off to a positive start, we can get through. But how are we going to do it?
Well, I think the first thing to say is that we've got to get the result at home, haven't we? Because our away form is not great. I watched Napoli last night and they drew 1-1 with Genoa. It wasn't a great performance, but don't be misled by that. They are a top quality side. They gave Liverpool 2 really hard games this year in the Champions League. They beat them 1-0 in Naples and lost to them 1-0 at Anfield. I think we are going to have to play to our strengths at home on the front foot, but we've got to be mindful of the fact that they can get forward and cause us problems in wide areas. So the question for Emery is, does he stick with the back 3 or does he revert to the back 4? I've got a setup here of the Napoli team, and I think just looking at it, I just want to take you through a few of the players who are there, and 1 or 2 are missing quite significantly. The first point is Insigne. He's coming back from injury. He came off the bench last night for 20 minutes. He could play either up with Mertens instead of Milik.
Milik's a top player.
He's a Polish centre forward. They're saying he's the next Lewandowski.
Next Lewandowski, they're saying.
And to be honest with you, when he came on at Anfield, he worried Liverpool to death.
No, he's a very good player. I remember even watching him when he used to be at Ajax. So he's an excellent player.
So I think the likelihood is he plays this game because he gives them a focal point. He's a forward who's good in the air, who can bring players into play. And the thing is, when we played Atletico Madrid last year, if you just substitute these 2 players, Mertens and Milik, for Griezmann and Costa.
Yeah.
That's what we... the way that Costa held the ball up and Griezmann goes, similar to Napoli. They've got these 2 players. Milik holds the ball up and Mertens goes. So we need to be wary of that. So how do we beat them? We beat them, I think, by playing to our strengths. The question is, does he play a 3-5-2, which he has been playing, or 3-4-3, or does he go to a back 4? Me, personally, I love a diamond. He can't beat a diamond, Robert.
You can't beat a diamond.
No, so I would play a 4-4-2. I think we have to have Aubameyang and Lacazette on the pitch.
Yeah.
Right. So that is clear. How do you get them on the pitch? You play, and how do you nullify the strengths of Napoli? I think you play 4. You play a holding midfield at the base of a diamond, a left-sided and a right-sided midfielder who can offer continuity, able to take the ball forward, which I'll come on to in a minute. Then we play either Ramsey and Ozil at the front of the diamond, and then we play these 2 forwards. Or we could play Ramsey as one of the 3 behind Ozil. So, but I think you're going to need, because our fullbacks, the width is going to have to come from our fullbacks, from Maitland-Niles, and I will go with Monreal in this game, more than Kolasinac. I think we need to get those 2 fullbacks high. So when they go high, I think the 2 of the diamond are going to have to be really disciplined. The one on the left side is going to have to come across and cover the fullback if he advances on the left, and the holding.
You're like 2 holding.
I want 1 holding. I want to say.
Who would that be? Elneny?
Well, first of all, no. I mean, it depends. I mean, he can play.
Torreira will be back for that, wouldn't he?
Well, we were waiting on the fitness test for Koscielny and Xhaka, and they're doubtful apparently. Now, if Xhaka plays, Xhaka could play at the base, and we could have Torreira on one side and Ramsey on the other. Or we could play Iwobi or Mkhitaryan on the other side. It depends how he wants to set up. And then either Ozil, whoever he plays, I just think the shape of the 4 to give them a few problems. Now, the things they've got to worry about, I think, is this centre half. Maximovic is, I think, their weak link. So he's covering at the moment for Albiol, was out for the season. And I think we need to put pressure on this guy. Right? And I think we need to have our two forwards up there to put pressure on there too. Koulibaly, we know, is a top quality centre half, but he's not top quality. And I think if I look at the other thing, the goalkeeper, Ospina's out, isn't he? And I think he's going to come back merit. He's going to come back inside, but he's not great on crosses. So I think we've got to get crosses into the box. We do score a lot of goals from set plays. So I think we've got to put pressure on this goalkeeper, pressure on this centre half. But we've got to be mindful of the way they are. They've got two very good central midfield players, Alan and Ruiz. Ruiz is the guy who's more likely to come forward and support the attack. Alan more a sitting player. Callejong's a really good winger, offers them balance on that side. Zielinski's more a guy who sits and they'll try and get the fullbacks high. Gulam,
two good fullbacks they've got.
And High Seas are very good too. Yeah, so they have got a top quality side, even without Insigne. I think Insigne could easily play in that position as well.
Will he be back? Do you think?
No, I think he'd be on the bench. I don't think he's quite fit enough to play. But for me, to beat them, Robbie, I think we're going to have to play to our strengths. That is, play our two forwards on the pitch, and certainly play with someone behind those two forwards. Ramsey, if he's fit enough, or Ozil. Ozil's a different animal at home, of course. And I think we've got to have runners.
Okay. So Graham asked you to do your team, and of course this is if there are no, if those injuries are gone and everybody's fit that's available. This is the team that you've gone for. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I've gone 4-4-2 with a diamond. So I'm assuming Koscielny's going to be fit. If he's not, Mustafi's going to be in there, obviously. I've gone with a 4. I'm a bit worried about playing 3 at the back with them in wide areas, because we're vulnerable in wide areas sometimes if we play a 3. So I've gone with the back 4, Maitland-Niles, Socrates, Koscielny on the left and Monreal, which is, and obviously the width would have to come from Maitland-Niles and Monreal moving forward.
Yep.
In which case Xhaka is going to sit at the base, Robbie. Xhaka is going to sit at the base. And if Maitland-Niles is going forward, I'm going to ask Torreira to come across and fill that gap.
Yep.
And I'm going to ask Xhaka to come across when Monreal is going forward. So that's basically what I'm looking for in a defensive shape when out of possession. So I've gone for Xhaka at the base. Obviously, I think his passing was missed at Everton. I have to say that. Torreira on the right side. And this is a very similar line-up to what we played when we beat Chelsea at home. We played the diamond that night. I'm going to play Ozil there at the tip of the diamond, the front of the diamond, which and I want obviously Xhaka's control and passing with Torreira and Ramsey sort of like filling roles in and out of possession, and with these two forwards up front.
So Lacazette and Aubameyang up front. So you're going pretty attacking, pretty aggressive. Yeah. Remembering that if we concede a goal in this competition, 1 goal means 2.
I think we have to be...
Is that a bit too attacking, or...?
Not really. I think you can play a diamond as long as the players understand their roles in the team in and out of possession. So I think it's crucial that we don't overcommit, overload. I think these 2 games against Napoli will be tight. I think that there's... so if we do concede, obviously, I wouldn't say we're entirely out of it, but... important that we get a win. If we could win 1-0, I think that would be a good result to take over there. Yeah. Just not conceding, but if we concede, we get the win. I mean, if we concede, I think we're going to have to make sure we score 3 goals, aren't we? That's the key. When we played them over here a few years ago, we beat them 2-0 at home, and they beat us 2-0 away at their place. So but I think we're good enough to beat Napoli. Napoli are a really good side. I know my son Cameron thinks Napoli are a stronger side than us, but I think that we, on our day, at home, a match for anyone. As long as we get the balance right in the team selection right, and the players play on the front foot, have that belief, that aggression. And I hope the crowd turn up early and make it a really big night. Turn up and give us the atmosphere that they have done in these big games. These big games do tend to bring more out of these players, Robbie. I've noticed in the home games, we have to take faith in the fact that if you think about the big games at home this year, we played really well against Liverpool in a 1-1. We beat Chelsea, we beat Tottenham and Man United. So we've beaten the big teams at home, and we've beaten, albeit he beat Man United with a 3 at the back, but we were fortunate they didn't take their chances. Against Tottenham and against Chelsea, it was more of a diamond, and that's what I think got us those results. I don't mind if you change the personnel, if you want to bring in a Iwobi or Mkhitaryan into those areas, probably
Probably Czech as well. You know, he's been going with Czech.
Yeah,
all the way
I
through
think
this.
yeah. Sorry about that. I think Czech will play in goal definitely. So, but this for me would be the formation to try and get the best out of Napoli. Napoli, they do a lot of short passing in midfield, a lot of interplay, but they look to get their fullbacks on. Milik for me is going to be the danger with Mertens running off him. That's what we've got to be wary of. That's why I think I need our best two defenders on the pitch defensively, and I want our best two strikers, or they're easily our best, only two real strikers, aren't they? But our two players capable of getting us a goal up front. So with Ozil in behind, and Ramsey's work rate, Torreira next to Xhaka in that four, and I think that offers us. That's what I would go with. But he could, of course, go with the three. He loves a three at the moment at home, so it'll be interesting to see. But it's going to be an interesting game.
Okay, should be a great game. Really, really looking forward to it. Arsenal versus Napoli, the first leg of the Europa League. If we win this one through to the semi-final, this is the big one, though. This is the big obstacle. Can we overcome it? Would really love to see what your team for the game is. Leave it in the comments below. But let's hope we can get a big win.